Hi, it's Kirk. Welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal channel. Today I've got Fabian Iversen, the guitar player from Norwegian metal quartet Atena, joining us. And Fabian, your fourth album comes out on the 29th of September, Subway Anthem. Tell us about your feelings right now in preparation for that record.
First, I would like to say thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. That's the first time anyone has done it, like outside of Norway. Well, yeah, it feels like a debut album for us because this is kind of our first album where we actually recorded it in the studio and where we have been putting a lot of effort and having like a bigger budget than our previous home recorded albums. So I'm feeling pretty excited because people actually are caring more than usual, and I see a lot of comments, and that is mostly positive, and that feels great, and it's going upwards, like slowly but upwards.
And with good reason, because the 5 video singles released in advance of the album on the 29th of September, I've got to say 3 out of those 5 are absolute instant classics. So I want to ask, how do you think the Atena sound has evolved since your 2015 debut album compared to where you are now?
It's kind of a cliche answer, but I was 20 years old on that album, and as you can hear, it's more aggressive, trying to grab your attention, and we have no knowledge of how song structures are or anything recording wise. So I think now it's more refined, it has like a balance to it that we've been trying to achieve on our previous albums. So this is kind of like the first time the structures of the song and all, I don't know how to say it. It's hard for me to explain in English, but more mature. It's a cliche answer. Yeah.
I understand that. I will give you an example. So I review 7 albums per week. I'm the editor of a website called Screen Blast Repeat, as well as hosting this channel. And this weekend, for the albums I was listening to, I think 3 of them were thrash metal. There was a death metal album. And in between listening to these new albums, I thought, I'm going to listen to some classic music, Depeche Mode and Tears for Fears. And I put those albums on from the perspective of a metalhead, and straight away I'm just thinking, like you just said there, the songwriting standard is so high. The chorus, the way that they will go from the bridge to the chorus. So for example, let's take your single, Slip Away.
Yeah.
That is such an intelligent chorus. There's even a post-chorus section to it, isn't there?
Yeah.
With that song, are you and Jakob writing vocal lines before you've written the guitar parts? Because it just seems like you put so much thought into this element of your music on this album.
The fun thing about the vocals in this album is that usually I record everything and write everything. But for this album, I recorded or I wrote all the instrumentals, and then we all decided to just try to write all the vocals together. So we sat down at our rehearsal space and just started humming and trying to figure out how the song was going to how it was going to turn out. And every time everyone got stoked on a melody or a verse or some lyrics, we were like, that's it, we're done, move on to the next. So it was like if four people are stoked about the melody, we're doing it, and we're not changing anything, even if it happens in like 5 minutes or 2-3 hours. Yeah.
I think the music on this album goes beyond metalcore. The main reason is because of to me, the sophistication of the chorus, because the cliche in metalcore is to go from raw aggression in the verse parts and then into a clean singing mode in the chorus. Now, let's take the lead single, or as I see it as the lead single, Hard Day. Jakob's actually screaming through that with a lot of melody, but you can hum it. You can go, you know, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
It sticks in your head. And most metalcore, I've lost interest years ago because the choruses are so weak. They're not putting any thought into it. So this is really surprising to me to hear something so aggressive with what were you listening to in terms of pop music or classical or hip hop to come up with these choruses? Because you're definitely doing something different on this record.
I think I kind of agree with you on like choruses on like metalcore music, because I think it's mainly like a guitar instrumental genre, and we're quite the opposite because we're not very good at like writing cool riffs. So like the instrumentals are pretty much dumbed down, but we try to hide it with other elements like choruses and verse, and that seems to work out pretty well.
I think you've got a lot to say on this record. To me, when I listen to these 5 singles, this is a band that want to be known for engaging as the current generation with issues of the day. Now, we know you're from Norway. Everyone's going to ask you about black metal. I think it would be a stupid question. Why are you not a black metal band? That would probably be the most stupid question you'd ever face. But the lyrics, it's so easy to understand what Jakob... Does Jakob write the lyrics? Or do you write them as well?
We write most of it together, but I usually make him write it because he's the one who screams it, and I want him to like feel it when he performs it. Yeah. So yeah, you could say he writes the most of it, actually. Yeah.
Hard Day, you listen to that once, you know what that's about. That is about the daily grind. It's about being trapped in a job that you detest. It is about wondering what is the point of life if it's just to work 10 hours a day to pay your rent. That's what it's about, isn't it? And feeling that there's nothing you can do about that. Same with when I was listening to Poison Pure. Is that about taking painkillers or sleeping tablets, something to cope with the tempo of modern life?
I think it's mostly about being trapped mentally. Like it's easy to like go into that state of mind, like, oh, we're living in a society like Joker, Taxi Driver, like I'm stuck. But I think it's yourself that makes you stuck. Like you can quit your job whenever you want to, and you can try living a more meaningful life. So it's kind of about that, in the sense that it's like it's kind of your own fault. So
yeah. You know, I keep talking about choruses, and you said when all 4 of you are stoked, you move on to the next song.
Yeah.
How long did it take to write this chorus? Because I could just hum this chorus now. I've heard it 7 times.
The Poison Pure?
Yeah, Poison Pure. That is a phenomenal chorus.
Thank you. That was a really hard one. I usually hear that people, like, good choruses come in like short periods of time, but I don't think there's any like ingredient to a good chorus. But that was put together by a lot of verses. like cut together. So yeah.
I just like how he doesn't change key, Jakob, but he just brings in the melody. It's gripping me in my brain. Da, da,
Yeah.
da, da. So, did you have an idea of the vocal melody before you had the lyrics? Because it sounds to me like you got together and you'd almost hummed the song and say, okay, let's make the lyrics fit this. Is that what happened?
Yeah, we usually like to hum it because I like choruses that has like a hook, like yeah, that like hooks you, like notes that go up suddenly and like draggy notes. So we usually like when we just play back the instrumental and then we just hum over it many times and then we just chop like okay, I remember this sort of melody, this is interesting, and we just put it together. And then we try to fit the lyrics to it. So you can have like a cheesy lyric. It sounds cheesy on paper, but if it's in the correct melody, it usually works out. It's not that cheesy anymore.
Yeah, because when you listen to an American metalcore band, they will just do a crap pop punk chorus, won't they? All monotone, like that high emo voice. And when I heard Poison Pure, I was watching, do you know the band Periphery?
Yeah.
I was watching the making of Periphery 5. And Spencer Sotelo, you could see when they were writing that track number 2 on the album's called Atropos. And I saw him do that where he'd hummed the melody before he'd written the lyrics. You could tell because it was going up and down the scales and it was like he was navigating through the scales, which you just would not do if it was spontaneous. And when I heard that, I thought, you've done the same there, and it works so well. And that, I think that's why it is so successful. But even though I keep talking about the chorus, for our viewers, I think I should point out here, you said that you kind of dumbed down the guitars. There is like a post-hardcore element to it. Yeah. So I want to talk about track number 10 on your upcoming album. So people will know this as a video single. It's called Oh My.
Yeah.
And this is radically different. It's almost like a piano falsetto type song. And then there is some guitar distortion. Can you tell us more about the making of that song?
It was inspired by like movie trailers. Like I enjoy watching movie trailers like a bit too much.
Just the trailer, not the film.
Yeah, because it's so well put together and edited just to grab your attention. So I wanted to like have a trailer sort of song with like big like impacts and like tension then drops and like have a huge emotional like impact on you. Like it's very inspired by the Godzilla trailer, like the second movie. I haven't watched that movie. I just really love the trailer, so I wanted to like copy that. So it's like really copied from like the Claire de Lune song, I think it's called, because that's what they used in the trailer.
Is that the Godzilla 1997?
No, it's the Hollywood the Hollywood Godzilla movie, like the newer ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember the one in the 90s. It had, you know, that band Jamiroquai, that English like funk band. I remember them being on the soundtrack. Because when I listen to Oh My, the voice reminds me of Jeff Buckley, Jakob's voice.
Okay.
Was he listening to like Jeff Buckley and Radiohead and bands like that when he did the vocals? You know.
No, I don't think he listens to those artists. I think it just we really enjoy falsettos because it's not that much used in like metalcore. and we wanted to like we like to have like that metalcore element under, but we want to have more like I don't know if you can call it experimental, but like poppy sort of stuff over it to just stick out more.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, this year everybody talks about Sleep Token, don't they? This enigmatic English band, anonymous band. And I think what stands out for me with them is pop is not a dirty word, and they are very good at writing sophisticated pop in a heavy format. And I think the kings of that, I always say, is Faith No More. I think they were the first band that ever did this and showed that you can actually write intelligent pop music as a heavy guitar band.
Yeah.
You're definitely doing something similar. I just want to reiterate, pop is not a dirty word if you can do it to a high standard. And most metal bands, rightly so, will stay away because they don't feel confident that they can do that. So Atena certainly can.
I think like pop is pretty like intelligent because it's popular.
Hardest thing to do, isn't it? To write a catchy song. And again, in metal, we almost don't like that, do we? Oh, it's catchy. It's like, well, the music we listen to is repetitive. It has to be. It's ritualistic. So when you add in that sophistication that you're putting on the top of this aggressive music, and same with Sleep Token, that is doing something different. Spirit Box is another band. They do the same, don't they? You listen to a chorus by Courtney and you think she has put a lot of thought into this. And it's just fascinating how you're doing that. Can I ask a question as well about, because obviously you're from Norway and you want to say, look, we want to write about things that affect us and other people, whether that is mental health, the cost of living crisis, depression. Is it got to the point in your art, or is that almost more important than the musical content now? The lyrical message and what you stand for, is that more important than the music at this moment in your career?
That's a good question. I really haven't thought about it, but I think it's more important for me now than before to have like a good lyrical like lyrics than when I was younger, because I haven't really thought about it, but I think it's pretty 50-50 for me. Like still, like I wouldn't say like I struggle in life. I have it pretty well. Like I really enjoy just playing music, and I'm not like angry about life or that I have to work and play music. Like I just enjoy it. So I'm kind of like just in the moment, really. Like I don't know how to explain because I'm not that good in speaking English.
Your English is excellent.
Thank you.
What I'd like to say, what motivates you four people to continue as a band? Because your first album was 2015.
Yeah.
You formed in 2013, is that correct? 10 years ago?
We originally started in 2011.
Okay. So 12 years. Is it the same four people?
No.
No. So what the current lineup?
Yeah.
Is Jakob an original member of the band?
No.
I'm
the only. He joined in 2014.
So he was on the debut album then.
Yeah, he played he played bass originally, and then he worked at a factory, and he damaged both. He got like carpal tunnel damage, so he couldn't play an instrument for like many years. So we just had two vocalists because he could sing, and then our like the guy who screamed, he quit the band, and now we're like a four-piece.
When
Yeah.
did that happen? When did the original harsh vocalist quit?
2018.
Oh, so he was on that Possessed album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. What about your bass player Ulrich Lindstad? So
He
when did he join?
he joined in 2014 because he was what's it called, stepping in on bass, like on tours. So I wanted both those guys to be in the band, so we just did that sixth lineup.
And Frederick, was he on the 2014 album?
I think he has been there since like 2012. Yeah.
Stable. So other than the changes in the vocal department,
Yeah.
from that 2014 debut album, very stable. So my question is, what motivates you to continue as musicians, as a band? Because I assume, do you make a living from this, or do you all have day jobs?
We all have day jobs. We really like enjoy being together. Like we're really like close, and for us it's like it's no, like I'm going to play a show. I'm going to Bergen tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to like just being with the guys. Like I really enjoy their company, and like we always like enjoy hanging out together. So it's more like we're really good friends, and we happen to like play in a band. So we kind of just do that together as friends. It's like painting Warhammer sort of stuff. Yeah. It's just like it's just fun. Like really love like being together.
So tomorrow, you are playing a show in the black metal capital of the world, Bergen.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is the metalcore or alternative metal scene like in Norway?
For the last like 2 or 3 years, it's starting to grow. Like it's getting kind of big finally. Like we've been playing to like nobody for many years, like here in Norway, but like right before like the pandemic hit, it's just really opened up like ticket wise, and people starting to show up on like our shows. So I think we're catching up now finally. Like most bands don't come to Scandinavia, like metalcore bands, and that's obvious because people usually don't go to those shows, except if it's like Bring the Rise No Architects. Yeah.
No, that's it. You know, I've reviewed a couple of artists from Norway this year outside the black metal scene, and they've been excellent records. There was a hardcore band who released an EP, and the band is called Split Bite. And they did three. Do you know that band?
I don't think I do.
They're excellent, really aggressive, violent hardcore. And then I reviewed a noise rock type band called Hammock.
I heard about them. Yeah,
they were interesting. Yeah, a lot of shoegaze melodies with post-hardcore and some really like down-tuned riffs as well. And then there was another band, and I awarded it Album of the Week, called Grant the Sun. And I think Meshuggah's Fredrik Tordendal played bass on one of their EPs. They released an album 3 months ago called Voyage, and it's sensational progressive metal with, again, noise rock, alternative rock elements. And I said in each one, Norway is not just Dark Throne and Mayhem and Emperor, who are great bands. I have to say, I do love those bands. So yeah, it does seem to be opening up, doesn't it? But I think that's what intrigues me when I get sent music, and it's like, this is a metalcore band from Norway. This is a noise rock band from Norway. This is a post-hardcore. It's like, I'm going to listen to that. Just because I just want to keep listening to it, because I'm so used to black metal. But What about in terms of, like you say, when you go to Bergen tomorrow, have you ever had an experience where all the people who are there are just like, oh, we only listen to black metal, this is shit? Have you ever had that
No,
kind of experience?
I never had that experience. Like, the only exception is actually when we toured with a black metal band, like in the early days. Like, it's almost 10 years ago now. That was not pleasant. So we got like a lot of stuff thrown at us, like beer bottles, and like not bottles like glass, but like plastic, and people like turning around and like standing with their backs towards us, and like a lot of nasty comments.
What's that like? Does that make you feel stronger? Surely that can't be. Everyone says, don't they, in that situation, oh, I'm pleased it happened, it made us stronger. Is it like that?
I think it hurt.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
No one ever says that though, do they? No one admits to it.
Yeah, I think it hurts, but yeah, there's not much you can do about it. Like, it's like if I read like mean comments, it hurts. So yeah, I'm just gonna be honest about it. Like, yeah, it hurts.
Well, that's the thing though, isn't it? At least you're playing a type of music that is confrontational, but has an emotional vulnerability. So it's always, you can always deal with that in the expression of your art, can't you? At least you've got that.
Yeah.
But if you when I was listening to Slip Away, the first verse, if you take out the vocals, could pass for melodic black metal. Post-hardcore and black metal have got some similarities, haven't they? You know, with those atonal chords.
Death Haven sort of stuff.
Of course, yeah. I mean, obviously, you wrote the song. Did you ever consciously think, this sounds like black metal?
I almost threw the song away because it was so hard to write. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, for me, like it was like a riff salad to me. I like to have it all make sense, but like when we got the vocals on, it like glued everything together. So I didn't have anything in mind. I just needed another song. Like, I never write more songs than I have to, because I want to, like, when I start on the song, I want it to be good. So I just keep on working on it until it's something. Like, I don't have any unreleased songs really.
So, do you know, let's talk about Slip Away. We were just saying the first verse could almost pass for black metal. The falsetto in the chorus to that, Jakob's doing it quite aggressively. Are you and Ulrich doing the backing vocals for that? Because there's a lot of harmonies in that chorus.
Oh, that's only Jacob, but Ulrich is doing a lot of like harmonies in the studio and like backing vocals live.
Yeah.
So he adds like a lot of like bass, because he's a really big guy with like dark voice. So we figure, like, what do you call it? We figured out that we could use him when we tracked the record. So we just had him like do a lot of like low bassy harmonies, because I think it's cool to have like a sort of a cappella feel, because that's not something you hear in black metal. Like, I really like just putting stuff I listen to together on the record, like things from the early 2000s. Like, if you heard the song Subway Anthem, it's really inspired by Bomb Funk MC Freestyler.
I know that song, yeah.
Yeah, and like Poison Pure is more like a gnarl, sparkly kind of feel to it.
That's why I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, because the intro is like a drum and bass type.
Yeah.
To that song. Yeah. Oh, so that's where you got it
Yeah.
from. I always just think of the Prodigy. You know, when you hear that fast.
Yeah, I really like them too.
Yeah, but I can see
Yeah.
why you would be listening to that Free Rider. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this song, because it's technically quite challenging, when I heard it, I thought, how are they going to do this live? Are you playing that tomorrow at the show in Bergen? Are you going to play Slip Away?
Yeah. Yeah. We're playing the entire album, I think, except like one song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Because surely you'd want to do that as early as possible if you're Jakob in the set, because
Yeah.
you don't want to blow your voice. And that is really pushing through the octaves.
Yeah. I don't think so. It's kind of his problem, not mine.
Yeah, true.
He has to figure it out.
You're not going to be stressed out by this, are you? You
No,
just
no.
got to remember your parts.
That's on him. Yeah.
What's it like though? The first time you played that song live, what are you using? I mean, have you got earphones in when you're playing live?
Yeah, we use in-ears. Like we started using it like since last year. That really helps.
So can you not at times you're not going to be paying attention to the vocals, are you?
No,
You're
I
probably
can
listening for the drums,
I,
are you?
I usually don't have any vocals in my in-ears. So I don't know what's going on there. Like I'm in my own world. I have the click and some kick and my guitar and backing track. And then there's like this voice like counting us in and saying the song. So it's like kind of sitting in a wheelchair, like getting pushed. Yeah.
Division of labor. Each person just concentrates on their specialist task, especially the drummer.
Yeah. Yeah. If
He's
it's to a click, you don't have to think about like being tight because it's to a click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've just got two more questions then.
Yeah.
We kind of covered it at the beginning, but I'm interested to know, what are some of the new influences on this album? Artists that have inspired you on this album?
Yeah, it's nostalgia, like things I listened to from when I was a kid. That has like a sort of nostalgic feel to me. I really like enjoy like looking back on like memories, and music is like really strong. Like Gnarl Sparkly, Freestyler, Rammstein,
Yeah,
Oasis. Mostly it's kind of a mix of that, like Oasis and Rammstein, like things that you don't hear in black metal and metalcore.
that's clever though, isn't it? And I always mention them. I'm going to say it again. That is why Faith No More are always going to be one of my favorite bands, because in 1989 they're kind of playing a strange version of thrash metal, and they're listening to jazz and funk and soul.
Yeah.
And all these influences are coming through, aren't they, in that album, The Real Thing? And Spirit Box, Atena, have you heard that English band Vexed? Have you heard of them?
I've only heard the name.
Vexed. They're signed to Napalm Records.
Yeah.
They're doing something similar to what you're doing as well. Although there's not as many choruses in their new album. It's really dark. But yeah, Spirit Box, Sleep Token. I always say, when I'm reviewing a metalcore album, this band need to go and study Tesseract, because they seem to be the only band, Tesseract, who can bring sorrow into an aggressive format.
Yeah.
And then now I've heard you guys, you are doing the same. And that's very difficult, because otherwise you're going to sound like a 14-year-old emo kid if you're not got the sophistication.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's the hard part, like having it not be awkward.
Yeah.
There's like a fine line if you're going to be like emotional, but we're like you can pour out your heart, but if you do it too much, it gets really awkward.
That's it. And you've got the balance.
Yeah, thank you. We really try hard to find that silver lining.
And I'm pleased that you said that, the way you've described it, because when I hear the singles from this, I can tell that this was your main focus on this album. And I have listened
Yeah.
to the earlier albums. And what's that song called? Is it called I'm Thinking About Death? What is that song
Death is
called?
all I think about.
Yeah, Death is All I Think
Yeah.
About. Compare that with, for example, Slip Away. And you can
Yeah.
tell the difference in song, the maturity.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to do it in that song, just almost comes through, doesn't it? Almost comes through this
Yeah.
sophisticated melody. Now you have got to that stage where you're up here and they're all coming through those melodies.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
impressive. So last question then. What are your touring plans outside of Norway to promote this album, especially in Europe?
We started working with a booking label called A.Tonal. That's from the UK.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of it.
So I'm just waiting just to see if we're getting anything cool. And I don't know. I hope we're gonna go to do a Europe tour as soon as possible. So, but I'm not sure yet. Like we only just started working with them.
Well,
But
so we might see
yeah,
you in England then. That's what you're saying.
yeah, I hope so. That would
Definitely.
be fun. Yeah,
I'll be there because I think you'd be. Have you? I assumed you've toured Germany before. Germany
yeah,
would
and
be
England too.
quite
Yeah,
positive towards your music
yeah, I think so. I hope so.
because you've been compared to that Swedish band Imminence. Are you familiar with
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
I think you're better than them. I reviewed their album. I think it was last year or the year before. For me, the choruses were too weak. And obviously, we're not going to be criticizing bands here and talk about that, but when I saw on Bandcamp that people who listen to Atena listen to Imminence, I was thinking, okay. I can see some comparison because they have violins in their music and they're
yeah,
doing something different, very colorful texture to metalcore. So, and I think they're signed to a record label called A Rising Empire, which is in
yeah,
Germany. Yes, that's it. I'm
yeah,
surprised they've not approached you about your music. You'd be perfect for that label.
yeah. We're on indie recordings,
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of we're committed there. Like
Yeah.
we're happy with how they're treating us. So, but like I would love to be on like a metalcore label one day too, just to like see how it's like.
12 years. 12 years of hard work
Yeah,
got you to album number 4.
yeah,
So 29th of September for our viewers. Listen to the 5 video singles that are available before Subway Anthem is released. There is a title track called Subway Anthem, which Fabian and I have discussed. Certainly start with Hard Day, and then please do me a favor, listen to this song Slip Away, and also listen to the chorus of the song Poison Pure. We are listening to something radically different in heavy music. So I guarantee you will not be disappointed, and it might restore people's faith in metalcore as well. So last words then. What would you like to say to the fans of the band, new and old, in anticipation of this new album?
I'm really happy that you care and that you enjoy the music. Like I hope you have a great day. I'm just really grateful, really, and I want nothing but like the best for people. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully I will see you when you play in England.